Fight!
The Sorcerer Killer versus the King of All Curses, a battle in which we all would have loved to see happen in Jujutsu Kaisen, but obviously due to certain circumstances, or should I say because of a certain someone, we will never get to witness such a legendary battle. However, these two monsters could have possibly faced each other since they were both at the same place at the same time, and that would be during the Shibuya incident arc. Now I know what you guys must be thinking, and that is the fact that this battle is useless in some ways. Sukuna's strength and power is on a level that completely belittles all of the characters besides Gojo. But this isn't about who would win, since the answer is quite obvious. It's more of a scenario that I'm sure all of us would have loved to see with our own eyes. We also have to keep in mind that Toji was the very first person to defeat Satoru Gojo. Even though Gojo was running on no sleep, his techniques were nowhere near its full potential, and of course the fact that he was still a teenager. But anyways, we can't just overlook the achievements of Toji. He is known as the Sorcerer Killer for a reason. He is one of the main factors why the Jujutsu world is in such a huge mess at the moment. Like I just mentioned before, both Toji and Sukuna were at the same place at the same time. But it seems that the universe didn't want these two to collide. So what if Toji had come across Sukuna during the Shibuya incident arc? How long would Toji have lasted against the King of All Curses? So where exactly will this fight take place, and what sort of events would cause both Toji and Sukuna to come face to face in Shibuya? So we've got the first location out of the way, and that would be in Shibuya. Now as for what events will follow, what we understand is that Sukuna had arrived at Megami's location instantly after feeling the presence of Mahoraga. So technically speaking, this happened a few minutes apart from Toji's ultimate death. So let's say Toji didn't kill himself in front of Megami, but chose to escape him instead. And through coincidental means, Sukuna still arrives at the location in which Mahoraga was summoned, but instead of it being Mahoraga, it is the Sorcerer Killer, Toji Fushiguro. So right now we have Toji and Sukuna facing off at the exact same location Sukuna had crossed paths with Mahoraga. But this time around, Sukuna would be at much more ease, knowing full well that he is the dominant force in this fight. Whereas when Sukuna had faced off against Mahoraga, although Sukuna was excited to battle against such a beast, he still needed to be wary of this force of nature. So how exactly would these two strike a conversation with one another? Since both are very similar, it would just be a slugfest of trash talk. But I know for a fact Toji would find a way to completely irritate Sukuna with his words, urging the pair to clash. So before we determine how long Toji would last against Sukuna, we'll need to go through a list of rules for this battle. Right now the odds are completely against Toji, and with the latest battle concerning Sukuna and Gojo, it'll give us a rough estimation as to how well or how bad Toji could do in this fight. So the rules for this matchup are as follows. Number 1, Toji will have all of his weapons at disposal. This includes the Split Soul Katana, Inverted Spear of Heaven, Chain of 1,000 Miles, and Playful Cloud. Number 2, this battle is all about how long Toji can last against Sukuna, and not about whether he can defeat the King of All Curses. Number 3, Ryomen Sukuna will be at his current strength as he is in the manga. Number 4, both abilities and achievements will be compared to draw up an ultimate decision for how this could all end. Number 5, this is all just for a bit of fun, so enjoy this video and don't take it too seriously. So with all those rules mentioned, it allows Toji to work as maximum output against Sukuna. But would that really be enough for Toji to even get a single scratch on such a powerful entity? So the very first thing we are going to do is put Sukuna and Toji in a head-to-head battle concerning their powers and abilities. I understand that it's like comparing a hydrogen bomb to a baby, but we might come across a few things which could give Toji the slightest chance of actually gaining a hit on Sukuna. Anyways, we'll begin with the Sorcerer Killer himself. He was gifted with a heavenly restricted body, a body in which lacks any cursed energy, but his physical prowess is on a scale like no other. This amplification of his physical abilities, compared to him having no cursed techniques to his name, actually makes him a tricky opponent to go against. For example, when Toji had faced off against Gojo, even with the 6 eyes, there were little to no traces of him for Gojo to follow, which caused Gojo to lose track of him completely and get hit with a surprise attack. On top of that, the amount of detrimental cursed weapons he has is what makes Toji such a feared opponent, using a cursed spirit to store his arsenal, and a little fun fact is that Suguru Geto couldn't absorb this curse whilst Toji was still alive due to Toji and the cursed spirit having a master and servant relationship. Anyways, by having a heavenly gifted body, this has allowed Toji to acquire enhanced senses, with each of his senses being heightened to its peak. With that being said, since his senses were at such a powerful state, he was indeed able to see curses and Jujutsu techniques, so much so that he even adapted to its attacks. On top of that, Toji doesn't need to see your cursed energy to track you. All he needs to see are human footprints and smell the odor of your body, as seen when he found Suguru Geto and Riko Amanai in the tombs of the Star Corridor. Alongside this is his immense physical strength, as well as his speed and reflexes. These 3 attributes are what essentially make Toji what he is. He was capable of defeating Geto's most powerful curse, and then you return into the storyline again and beat Dagon and the Shikigami with ease. He had also beaten Takuma Ino with his bare hands. This alone had left him on the verge of death. Now with his speed and reflexes, Toji is so fast that he evaded a teenage Gojo's blue technique, and Megami stated how his speed was similar to that of a 3-finger Sukuna. So when compared to the characters who are grade 1 and below, Toji ranks above all of them. But where would Toji rank amongst the other special grade sorcerers? Well, when you compare him to the likes of Yuta, Yuki and Gojo, those 3 stand above him in terms of their blessed abilities. At the end of the day, Toji would simply be a monkey who doesn't even have any divine techniques. Yet he can still go toe to toe with these powerhouses and pull off one hell of a fight. Now moving on to the king of all curses. To be fair, everything about Sukuna just walks all over what Toji has accomplished in his lifetime. It's simply an unfair matchup, with Sukuna being more close to a god than an actual cursed spirit. Anyways, what we do know about Sukuna is how his cursed energy is in a much more advantageous position than any other character in this series. Due to him becoming an unfathomable being, cursed energy is like breathing air for him. Sukuna is also on a completely different level to Toji when it comes down to his physical strength, hand-to-hand combat, speed and reflexes, but the most important factor about Sukuna would be his Jujutsu techniques, as these would decide whether Toji would be able to even get anywhere near this monster. So first off would be the mysterious black box technique, in which we have no clue what it is, but when Sukuna had opened it against Jogo, he would go on to use the flaming bow and arrow and obliterate Jogo. His dismantling cleave can cut anything and everything down within a matter of seconds, as seen during the Shibuya incident arc. Sukuna's reverse curse technique has got to be the best out of any other character. In his current fight, he has been able to regenerate his body countless times, regardless of how powerful Gojo's attacks were. And lastly is the deal breaker, his domain expansion Malevolent Shrine. This right here will be Toji's weakness, which we will discuss shortly. Anywho, when you compare both powers and abilities with one another, Toji is completely overshadowed. All Toji really has is his speed and cursed tools, which may allow him to last a lot longer than what we would have originally expected from him. So it's a no-brainer as to who is much stronger, but the fact that Akutami somehow created a sense of overwhelming power amongst his catalogue of characters is insane. Toji is extremely powerful in every right, but somehow there is someone out there that simply walks all over him. So now back to this hypothetical battle. How exactly would both of these characters approach this sudden battle in Shibuya? From what we know about Sukuna is how much he loves to toy with his opponents. Since Toji in general is a really interesting character, Sukuna would definitely gain a liking to him. However, this is where things are going to get really interesting. Toji's main advantage in this battle would be his cursed tools. If he plays his cards right, Toji would do everything in his power to use the inverted spear of heaven on Sukuna. The only problem is, how in the world will Toji get close enough to pierce Sukuna with it? Well, for this we'll need to analyze the approach Maki and Yuji had on Sukuna in chapter 215 of the manga. What we understand is that Maki right now would be on a similar level as Toji. Sukuna even states how his new Shikigami wasn't able to kill her and how she won't be easy to take down. Maki and Yuji then go all out, with a 15-finger Sukuna taking on all the hits and calling them boring. But Maki would ask a question whether Sukuna would be able to heal from the split soul katana, which is known for cutting the soul directly. As this battle goes on, Sukuna even gains an excitement when going back and forth with Maki. That is only until Uraume intervenes. So what we can take from this is that if Sukuna simply fights Toji without the use of his Jujutsu techniques, then we would witness a spectacle in hand-to-hand combat. Luckily for us, Sukuna rarely uses his Jujutsu abilities and only does so when he needs to, so surprisingly, Toji would last a lot longer than Maki if he had gone up against Sukuna one-on-one. The reason why I'm saying that is because of Toji's efficiency with the cursed tools at his disposal. Sukuna also has a tendency to simply drop his guard against inferior opponents, since he knows all it takes is one malevolent shrine to win. But this is how I see the fight going. Sukuna would drop his guard and take on hits just like he did against Maki and Yuji. He would love to see what Toji is capable of. I mean, he was intrigued when he saw Maki's endurance, so imagine him having the same reaction against Toji. So what we have now is a slugfest between Toji and Sukuna, both displaying the limits of their physical power and going at it with their hand-to-hand combat. So what we have now is a scenario with Sukuna with his guard down and letting Toji do what he likes to simply assess him. Toji is a master of deception and traps. We saw it against Gojo, and we would see it happening against Sukuna. However, Sukuna would invite the idea of Toji using his cursed tools against him, with Toji using enough force to pierce Sukuna with the inverted spear of heaven. Now the question here would be, would the inverted spear of heaven really work on Sukuna? This all falls down to the laws of the Jujutsu world. Sukuna has said countless times that even though he is a god in his own right, he isn't an exception to these laws. For example, binding vows and being trapped inside the prison realm. Ryomen Sukuna is still bound to these rules. So this battle all falls upon whether Toji can successfully stab Sukuna with the inverted spear of heaven. That would be the biggest advantage for him. Essentially what the inverted spear of heaven does is nullify cursed techniques. We had seen it being used against Gojo's limitless technique, which would result in Gojo's first death, but we realize its importance in Gojo's second coming. Regardless of Gojo going into a state of enlightenment, Toji with confidence still believed he could kill him by combining the inverted spear of heaven with the chain of 1,000 miles. But unfortunately for Toji, that wasn't the case and it led to his death. But if Toji plays his cards right and successfully nullifies Sukuna's curse technique, it would give Toji that minimal chance of defeating the king of all curses. So right now our scenario has Sukuna having been stabbed with the inverted spear of heaven and cannot use his curse techniques. This also includes his domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. But just because Sukuna isn't able to use curse techniques, he still has an infinite amount of curse energy to play around with and add on to his physical prowess. But with that being said, there is one factor which would allow Sukuna to access his Jujutsu techniques again, and that is through the reverse curse technique. From what we witnessed in the latest fight between Gojo and Sukuna, is that Sukuna's regenerative abilities are the best in the entire series. If Sukuna were to be stabbed with the inverted spear of heaven, it would only be for a few minutes, in which he wouldn't be able to use his curse techniques. This then gives Toji a window of opportunity. Understanding how smart he is in terms of battle intellect, his next bet would be to use the Soul Split Katana on Sukuna. But would Toji be able to land a hit on Sukuna with it? Since I know for a fact that Sukuna would immediately amplify his physicality to an even greater state, knowing that he can't use his curse techniques whilst he regenerates. But let's say Sukuna does find himself in a pickle, as Toji does one of his famous surprise attacks on Sukuna with the Soul Split Katana. How much damage would this do to the king of all curses? In my opinion, Sukuna would take substantial damage. Now what do I mean by this? Maki managed to use the Soul Split Katana to its full potential against Naoya's cursed spirit body with just a single strike. If the Soul Split Katana was used on an entity like Mahoraga under Toji's possession, it would have the potential of one-shotting Mahoraga and defeating him. So if we put 2 and 2 together, it would definitely do damage to Sukuna and his soul. But Sukuna knows things about the soul that we do not, and also how to manipulate the soul. Although Sukuna would take damage, it wouldn't be enough to kill him. However, this would be when Toji's window of opportunity would shut. It's unknown whether Sukuna can heal the soul, but Toji's only best chance in this fight would be using the inverted spear of heaven to nullify Sukuna's curse techniques and then countering immediately with the soul split katana. But due to Sukuna's immense regenerative abilities and knowledge about the soul and how to split himself up, he would take effective damage, but he would eventually overpower it. I believe this entire ordeal would last around 10 minutes, from the hand-to-hand combat to the nullification of curse technique, and finally to Toji's finishing move, which would be the soul split katana. However, from what we've witnessed in the latest chapters of JJK is how fast Sukuna can regenerate and use the reverse curse technique. Using the inverted spear of heaven on Sukuna would only work momentarily until his reverse curse technique completely overpowers its effect, as well as the overwhelming curse energy taking back control. So the first 5 minutes of this battle would simply be Sukuna toying with Toji and letting his guard down, and the last 5 minutes would be the window of opportunity for Toji after piercing the king of all curses with the inverted spear of heaven. That last 5 minutes would be the recovery process of Sukuna, leaving him vulnerable, but once those 5 minutes are up, this is all you're going to hear. Well, it's a known fact that Maki can bypass domain expansions due to a barrier not being able to confine her, but the only way a domain expansion can work is if the environment around her changes into an actual domain. In other words, Toji's and Maki's biggest weakness would simply be the Malevolent Shrine or domain expansions that do not use a barrier but instead use the environment around them. Since the Malevolent Shrine needs no barrier, with Toji being stuck inside, Sukuna's dismantling cleave will leave Toji into nothing but particles, and that is how this battle would end. Sukuna being the victor and Toji putting up a good fight, but it wouldn't be enough to defeat the king of all curses. Anyways, we've come to the conclusion to this fight, and that would be Toji lasting 10 minutes max against the king of all curses. That is only if Sukuna fights the way he usually does, and that is by toying with his opponent. If Sukuna awakens his domain expansion from the get-go, Toji would last probably 30 seconds, which is insane. But anywho, let me know what you guys thought and how this hypothetical fight would go in your heads down below. As always, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one.